Hey all, Jen here. I thought I would sit down and play with the cards a little bit and ask a couple of questions. I'm kind of interested right now in terms of what's going on with the Federal Reserve, particularly with the shutdown, particularly with the memes of going out saying, "You're fired." I'd like to understand what's going on with the Federal Reserve right now. Three, two, one. What's going on with the Federal Reserve? True behind the scenes energy of what's going on within the Federal Reserve. Well, this is really funny. I wonder if this is from the shutdown. So there's nobody there. And there's a little bit of confusion that's happening and a lot of unknowns. My goodness, this is quite a spread. Not what I had expected to see for the Federal Reserve right off the bat. So there's a new offering, sort of like like could potentially even be a repurposing. I think we'd have to clarify this Fool card a little bit more. Let's dive into the Fool card. This is new territory out of upset. So I think they're being forced into something new. Not that this is their charter and they're like, yay, we're rebranding. It's nothing along those lines. I think that under duress, they're actually secretly being told to move into a new direction. But there's some confusion right now. What is the confusion that's happening at the moment? Wow. They're trying to manipulate or trying to be the puppeteer of the strings with all this influx of value that's coming in with the price of gold. I mean, you could sit there and, watch it literally jump $20, $30 in 5, 10 minutes. It's absolutely outrageous. I mean, it's great if you're an investor, but not good for the currency value. So I think what they're doing is they're looking at how can we manage this? This almost is feeling like damage control. How does the Fed manage the increase in precious metals pricing at the same time as knowing that it's going to be repurposed in some way because it's just not going to continue going forward? What is this moon card? They're trying to figure out how they manage an ending. How do we manage an ending? Huh. Okay, let's look at this nine of wands. Oh, there you go. There's your financial system. There's a healing to the financial system and truth and integrity. Um, I almost wonder if some truths are going to come out about the Fed, or let's dive into the King of Swords just a little bit. Actually, what I'm getting, oh, and here's the death card. And what's on the bottom of the deck? Okay. What I'm actually getting is that there's going to be truths revealed. So the more that the price of the precious metals continues to increase, it's just creating more and more of a demise. And so they're actually having to figure out, it's sort of like we're in damage control. We've got to mitigate what's happening here. There's some truths that are going to come out in terms of maybe how the Federal Reserve has been operating. And then down here, there is a new pathway, just sort of like and it feels like it's under duress, right? This is not their choice. It's going to be forced to be moved into sort of a new pathway here. And the death card is indicating that very strongly. I'd love to be able to clarify the death card a little bit more. Um, yeah, and so in terms of how it's managing the distribution of funds or the distribution of money or the printing of money, because the Federal Reserve is basically their business model is printing press. How many dollars can we spit out of the system and watch it grow? And so there might be an end to that. So, all these things like raising the debt ceiling and adding more currency into circulation, like it feels like that's coming to an end, at least from this particular type of dollar. Um, so let's see. If that's the case, is there a new dollar? Is there a new currency? Perhaps maybe that's why there's that forced ending of the Fed. Is there a new currency waiting in the wings to be launched in the United States and possibly globally? Three, two, one. Is there a new currency? Yeah, I think that there very well could be. And they're figuring out what's the right way to deploy this. How do we let the people know? Because something else, we have got to walk away. We have to walk away from something first. And this is the current currency, right? So how do we walk away from that in order to deploy something new? So let's clarify. Actually, I'm being drawn to this card. So let's clarify the Eight of Cups. What are we walking away from? There's a change in perspective. Well, change of perspective, I assume, of the financial system or how we use our currency here in the US, death of the dollar. Yeah. What is the Wheel of Fortune? So I think it's kind of in this it's sort of repeating itself at this point. So what it's saying is that we're walking away from what we have currently and we're moving into something new. Hopefully something that will have more purchasing power. This is more of a sovereignty cards. I'm curious about this card. What is it that we're not seeing? We're not seeing how it's going to get deployed. What's the Moon card? Um, well, I think we're definitely waiting on, being told that there's a new currency, but something else has to end first, and we're waiting for that ending. So I think all signs are sort of waiting for the ending of the US dollar. What does that look like? Show me the true behind the scenes energy of the ending of the US of the current dollar. What does that look like? True behind the scenes energy of the death of the dollar. 3, 2, 1. Well, there's definitely some conflict in terms of how we get to that point, and it certainly has not been our friend, right? The taxation and the decline of purchasing power and the massive influx of dollars that have been put into circulation over time. There definitely has been misuse, abused of power. And there's going to be some like it's not going to go down without a fight kind of thing. Let's see what we've got going on in the future. Strong. Well, so we're talking about the death of the dollar. There's going to be something it's going to be like a bit of a showdown, right? There's a change of perspective that's coming in. However, the replacement is going to be very powerful and legal. So they definitely have thought through what they're going to do with the announcement of the death of the dollar. How it looks, I don't really know, but there's a change in perspective. So how is it going to be presented to us? The way that they're going to do the death of the dollar and change the perspective of how people view the dollar currently is they're going to show the evils and the sort of the negativity of how it's been used and abused and exploited over time. And so they're going to say, we have to end this dollar because this system has to go down. And it's not going to go down without a fight for sure, but they're going to basically point out, the abuses and all the negativity of the dollar itself. And there's a plan that's been in the making for a while. It's at the highest levels within government of being able to implement this plan. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. Let's just ask any parting words from Spirit as it relates to the US financial system. Any parting words from Spirit on the US financial system in general? 3, 2, 1. This is actually meant to be for the good of people. There's a lot of people that are without. There are a lot of people that are lacking right now. And having a new financial system is going to come in and be actually very helpful. Releasing your burdens, and having more truth and integrity within our financial system itself. The death of the dollar should be viewed as something positive. Yeah. Absolutely. So I think what the spirit is trying to tell us is don't be afraid of the death of the dollar. This is meant, it's sort of like you tell a kid that you can't do something, but you only know that it's for their best and highest good, right? So I don't know. I think what Spirit is trying to say is there's some things that are coming in. Don't be afraid of change. This is meant to bring you peace and release your burdens and to bring truth to a system, bring integrity back into a system, and help move you powerfully forward within your own life. So, gosh, I don't think that that sounds too bad. So, I think what we're going to need to do is just sort of buckle up and prepare within your own household. Maybe stock up on a few things that you might like to have some cash on hand, and know that that cash probably isn't going to be worth much after this whole transition. But I think we're moving into some very interesting times in the near future. So we'll continue to watch this story as it unfolds. Take care.